Thousands of children and families in Marion County struggle with issues like poverty, substance abuse, or mental and emotional illness. Many local services exist to help families in crisis, but families often don't know about these services or can't get to them. Unmet needs can result in child abuse, neglect, or juvenile delinquency. The Early Intervention Planning Council, through the Marion County Commission on Youth's Early Intervention and Prevention Initiative, has created a plan to give families earlier access to services in the hopes of reducing the number of children who get abused or neglected or turn to delinquent acts. We hope you enjoy our monthly program, Our Kids, Our Families, Our Communities, and learn more about the local services here to help you.
Hi, I'm Shana Martin, the Director of the EIP Initiative at MCCOY. Welcome to another episode of Our Kids, Our Families, Our Communities. And today we have sort of a unique show. We're doing something a little different than what we've done before. We're actually going to get the perspective from young people to see what they're thinking about things that are going on in our community and the things that are important to them. So I'm going to take some time to have each one of the ladies that are here with us today introduce themselves. And then we'll just talk a little bit about kind of what's on their mind and some particular topics of interest that they've identified. So Allison, I'm going to start with you.
Hi, my name is Allison, and I'm in 11th grade, and I go to Carmel High School.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Jawanda Breelove, and I go to Fall Creek Academy. I'm a sophomore.
Hi, my name is Cynthia Yu, and I go to Carmel High School, and I'm a junior.
Hello, my name is Jasmine Bryant. I go to Fall Creek Academy, and I am a sophomore.
Okay, well, thank you ladies for being here. And each one of these ladies is a member of MCCOY's Youth Empowerment Team. So they have spent some time together this year just brainstorming about things that are interesting to them and how they want to be more involved and engaged in the community. So we're just going to kind of have a conversation today about, like I said, some of the things that are important to you. And during your last meeting together, you talked a little bit about teen depression and suicide. And I know that in the media lately, we've had several incidents at local high schools involving high school students committing suicide. So, just wanted to talk a little bit about your thoughts on that and how that impacts you. You want to start, Jasmine, since you have the mic?
I think always something behind the suicide, like bullying. Bullying can really cause people to kill themselves.
Okay.
I think in light of recent events, there have been a couple suicides that we've heard about in areas that are near our schools. So that really hits hard, and it affects, how our, learning experiences at school when we realize that, there are students at our age who have committed suicide. And what I really want to try to mention is that, even as high schoolers, we can make a difference, and we can, even small actions can help prevent suicide. So just if you notice someone who's feeling a little bit down, say something nice, cheer them up, because even those small words can, change someone's outlook on life.
Okay, thank you.
Suicide can go many ways. People can kill themselves over many things. And one of the big things that I think is a part of that is bullying.
I think suicide is one of those topics that's, I think it's kind of hard to talk about with peers. So I know, just teaching people about the signs or symptoms of depression, and maybe if they have friends or close peers who seem to be struggling. I know, like what Cynthia said, positive actions can help a person.
Okay. And you're right. I mean, I think, Jasmine, you hit the nail on the head when you said there's a lot of things behind the reasons why people take their own lives. And typically they've been struggling with a lot of different things and had a lot going on. It could be things at home. It could be bullying at school, saying positive things, taking time to recognize when a friend may be struggling, and just asking those questions, because statistically they always say that there's usually things that have happened or signs that usually come before somebody takes their life. Do you guys have any advice? How would you help a friend? What would you say if you thought a friend was maybe struggling or maybe thinking about committing suicide?
Well, I think the first step is confrontation. It might be uncomfortable for you, but it's just to help your friend, and you're trying to get them out of that rough spot. So maybe just talk through it and offer them ways to help themselves.
I would talk, like have an encouragement talk with them,
Okay.
so they wouldn't do it, because you wouldn't want your friend to lose their life.
I think kind of like what I said before, always like say something positive to, cheer someone up. And also just, I think it's important just to remind someone that, suicide is a permanent end to a temporary problem. And there's always other things that you can do to try to solve that problem other than suicide.
I think you can like be there for them and help them have good memory about other than bad memory.
Okay. Okay. Are there things that you guys are doing in school? Do you have conversations about suicide? Are you learning about the signs? Anything?
We're not having a discussion about it right now, but I think it's gonna be coming up soon.
Okay.
At our school, I think we have, some classes where among the topics that they discuss, depression, suicide are one of those things that we discuss in class. So I think that's really great as a way to, teach students about something like this, and it's a good way to try to help prevent suicide.
We haven't really hit that topic at school yet,
Okay.
so.
Like, I personally, I took a health class, so we talked about suicide and depression. But outside of class, it's not one of those popular topics to talk about. So I think at school, if they would just publicize like suicide and depression, I think it would help us a lot.
Okay. Good deal. So maybe that's one of the things that you ladies can work on, is how to help raise awareness in the schools, or get school administrators to recognize that this is an important thing and it's something that impacts you guys much more in a lot of cases than it does adults, because young people are sometimes struggling with things that we've kind of moved past already. So like I said, maybe something that we can work on together in your work with the youth empowerment team. So what else? There's a lot of things going on in our community. What else are you guys interested in, or what's on your mind? What are you thinking about? What's bothering you? What's happening?
I think another issue is like safety.
Okay.
Because we hear all these stories about all the gun shootings, and especially like coming from a big school, it's scary because you don't know all these people personally. But our school has taken precautions of dealing with shooters.
I live like near a killing area,
Okay.
so I hear about a lot of killings, like, because I live on 38th and Strathmore.
Okay.
Like, it's a apartment across from me, and the police, they found a young girl that was shot. It's kind of sad.
Okay, that is sad.
I'd like to kind of piggyback onto what Allison said, which is, at our school we have had the administration come and talk to us about, plans if someone were to come in, what we should do when that type of situation occurs. And also, it is something that's really kind of scary when you go to such a large school, especially because these school shootings have become very common in the past few years. And one thing that, in my opinion, is a little bit alarming is that with the gun laws that have been passed recently, it seems as if they're a little bit lenient towards people with guns, allowing them to have guns in parking lots of schools. That's a little bit scary to me, again, because, coming from such a large school, and any school in general, that the fact that, someone could come bring a gun to a school parking lot, it kind of makes me think about, how safe are we at school.
Okay.
I think it's scary that also let people in without knowing them, and that we don't have no plan about what we're going to do if there were a gun brought in.
Okay, so your school doesn't have a plan and hasn't worked on...
Not that I know.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, and Cynthia, and back to what you said, because I think, the law, some of the laws that are being passed are meant to, or framed that it's going to be safer for you guys to be at school, because people are allowed to have guns on school property, or may be allowed to carry guns into the schools to to, I guess, be able to defend against the shooter. But what I hear you saying is that doesn't necessarily make you feel any safer.
In my opinion, if we allow, those guns to come into the parking lot in the first place, if there were no guns in the first place, then we wouldn't have to have guns to protect ourselves. So that law really doesn't make me feel that much safer than what I could be feeling.
Any other thoughts? You ladies have any other thoughts about that? Okay. Any other issues around safety? I know we know, the active shooters and the shooter situations are really scary, and hoping that schools are doing stuff to help prepare students for what they should do if that were to happen, and the hope is that won't keep happening. But are there other issues in terms of safety at school that's happening, or just in your life period? Okay. And I know it's pretty scary to live in a neighborhood where that's a fear.
It's a lot of shootings that go around over there, so
Okay.
it's just scary.
What do you think can be done about that, or what should be done to help prevent that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it, because it's basically, you know how there are gangs and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Okay. No, I asked because I know, the police officers and Department of Public Safety is working really hard to make neighborhoods safer, and it's just good to hear what young people think about that, because you're living in that neighborhood now. And so it'd be interesting to know just kind of what you think about some things that they can do, or the city leaders can be doing, or we can be doing better, so that is not an experience that you have every day. Any other thoughts? Anybody
No.
else? No? Okay. What else is on your mind? What else? Bullying. We brought up bullying, so let's talk about bullying. What's going on with bullying? In school, out of school, technology, cyberbullying. Bullying, when I went to school, just happened during the school day, usually on the playground, but now it seems like bullying kind of happens 24/7.
I think, I guess, as students in this new age where technology has, become fairly advanced, bullying can, yes, like you said, it can happen basically anywhere, anytime. Cyberbullying has become huge, So I think, at our schools, I'd say physical bullying has become, I guess, a little bit less common, but cyberbullying has just the same amount of impact as physical bullying. And I'd say there's also a lot of verbal bullying that goes on, and I feel like some people don't realize that, the things that they're saying are really affecting people that the way that they are. And, bullying is a very huge problem, and, I think it's at our school, though, we've had new policies regarding bullying, and I think those have been fairly effective because we really don't see that much bullying as much as before, probably.
Okay. So what's changed? What's different at school now than the way it used to be in terms of those policies?
I think their policies are just a lot more a lot stricter regarding bullying. So now there really we don't see much bullying occurring, in the halls of our schools.
Okay. Anybody else?
I think bullying, like she said, cyberbullying is big.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's just big.
Okay. It's a big problem?
Yeah,
It's
a
happening
big problem.
a lot?
Yeah, it happens a lot.
And how does that impact people? I mean, if you have friends that have experienced that, what do you do if somebody's bullying you on social media and via text? And I mean, what do you do about that?
But usually when somebody bully, like on the internet, people at school, they find out about it because of social media. They
Okay.
send it like in text messages and stuff, and it can get to the administration, and it goes further than that.
Okay. So because it's online and stuff, the administrators are able to find out about it.
Mhm.
Okay, and can intervene.
Mhm.
Okay.
I know our school, we have an anonymous like hotline, so if you see bullying, you can report it online. And so I thought that was like really important and like a good change for the problem of bullying. Cyberbullying, I think it's been a little harder to like kind of trace or whatever. And so I think cyberbullying, it can attack like someone mentally and like emotionally. And I know like teenagers, we like kind of stress about our like insecurities, and we care about how we look and like how other people think about us. So I think like self-image is like really important in a teenager's life. So I think if people keep like tearing down at someone, I think that can really emotionally hurt them.
I think that, the problem of bullying, I think we talked about this at the very beginning with suicide and depression, that, bullying is something that leads to, a big problem, which is suicide and depression. And so I think that, like, if you have a friend who, is, being bullied, or if you see someone being bullied, make sure to, stand up for them and, help them through that time. And, if you see bullying, try to stop it and don't just be a bystander who does nothing when a situation like that occurs.
I personally think that people bully because they try to make themselves feel good by putting other people down.
Yep. You're right. I think in a lot of cases, people are struggling with their own self-esteem and their own issues, and it makes them feel better to be mean to other people. And some of that is normal development. A lot of adolescents go through that, but a lot of teenagers. But it's when it gets taken to the extreme and the other person is really being hurt by it that it moves into being bullying and out of control. And that's when it needs to stop. And you need to have people who are willing to stand up and help. Because what I have learned is that bullies are a lot of times going through things too. Most kids don't just wake up one day and decide to be a bully, but they may be experiencing bad things at home or bad things in their life, and so they go to school and they act it out, or that's the way they have power and control that they don't have anywhere else in their life, is by bullying somebody else. So sometimes we have to step back a little bit and take some time to recognize that the bully may be going through some things too, but that's still not an excuse or a reason to be really mean to somebody else to the point where it hurts them or even causes them to take their own life. We just need to be nicer to each other. What else is going on in the teenage world these days?
Fights in school. I think fights in school is like foolish. Okay. Because why will you fight when you can really work out the problem, not listen to he said, she said stuff.
Okay.
I agree. I think that the solution shouldn't be violence. I think rather than, just going to, fight, maybe, talk out your problems rather than, resorting to violence.
I believe that violence is not the answer to anything. You should just try to work it out.
Okay.
Nicely.
Yep.
And like especially in like teenage years, I know like a lot of drama can happen in high school. So I think if you just like don't listen to gossip and like try to stop gossiping, I know like gossiping is like a way of the teenage life, but if you could just like, I don't know, stop it or try to keep your thoughts to yourself, I think that would save a lot of people like resorting to fighting.
So what can adults do? How can adults be part of the solution with some of the things that you guys have talked about in terms of, suicide, bullying, safety in school, gun safety? What can adults do to be helpful and supportive?
I think that, adults are making the effort to, say that, that, we can come to them if we're having trouble. But I think that we need to emphasize it a little bit more. I feel like sometimes it can seem a little bit uncomfortable going to talk to maybe a school official or a school teacher. So I think, just making those relationships with, students and, really trying to understand what's going in, their personal lives as well is an important way to, know what they're going through and a way to, support them through hard times that they might have fallen under.
Okay. Good advice. Any other advice you ladies have for adults?
It's our part as students and like kids to tell the adults like what's going on, and so I think just having the courage to ask an adult for help is like really important. So there's no need to be like embarrassed or shy.
Okay. And what can adults do to make that easier?
I think they could just give them the students more opportunity to come to them, or like the kids to come to them, just open up, or make time for them too.
Okay. Other solutions, other things that adults can do to help, or other solutions to some of the challenges that are happening in our community that impact you guys?
I think it's hard for teachers to know what the problem is because they don't have the inside ears or eyes to see what's going on or hear what's going on.
Okay.
And that makes sure they can't stop it in time.
So how can teachers be more tuned in to what's happening with students?
I really don't know about that one.
Okay. Anybody else have thoughts? Suggestions for teachers who may be watching? No? Okay. Any other final thoughts that you ladies would like to share with the community that may be watching? We talked about a lot of good stuff, a lot of not good stuff in regards to the information that you guys shared and the knowledge that you imparted, but unfortunately we're talking about difficult subjects and things that we wish weren't happening in our community, but they are, and they're happening in our schools, and they're happening to the young people. So I just appreciate you ladies taking the time to share your thoughts. And hope that you will continue to do that, because certainly I think as adults sometimes we think we know all the answers, and we put together solutions or come up with things, but we forget that we're not the ones being impacted by the great things that we come up with, but we're not the ones being impacted. So hearing from you is really helpful, and I hope that we can encourage through MCCOY folks to tune in and watch this show so that they can learn what you guys are dealing with and some of the things that and ways that you think adults should be tuned in a little bit more and be helping. Okay, so thank you, Allison and Jawanda and Cynthia and Jasmine for being here again as part of our youth empowerment team at MCCOY. And we've got an event coming up Saturday, December 6th, the We're Just Saying event, which is an opportunity for young people, high school students, middle school students, to come to MCCOY, the United Way building on December 6th from 10 to 2, I believe, to talk more. And this is what it's going to be. You guys are actually going to be leading that, and just having young people come and talk more about the things that is going on with them and solutions. I mean, because that's really what we're all about at MCCOY, is how can we as adults help provide solutions, and how can we help get other adults to listen to what young people have to say. So just really appreciate you ladies being here, and you know that we always are open to suggestions that you have. Okay? So thank you for tuning in to another episode of Our Kids, Our Families, Our Communities. Thank you for joining us. And if you have young people that are interested in getting involved, they can go on the MCCOY website and look up our youth empowerment team. And again, we're having a great event. It's the 4th year that we've had the We're Just Saying event, and it's an opportunity for young people to come share their voice, and it helps us actually shape our public policy agenda so that we are telling our city leaders and our state leaders what young people are suggesting for solutions to some of our community problems. So thank you for tuning in, and look forward to seeing you again during the next episode.